Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to Leah's Vlog. I'm so glad that you have tuned into my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you had tuned in. I want to reintroduce myself. I am Leah. I've been a nurse for a little over 2 years. I started out in the orthopedic unit and now I am a PRN nurse and I work on a med surgical floor, and I love where I am now. I have a little mix of everything that I encounter on a daily basis and I am forever learning. So I just want to vent. I want to get on here and I just want to vent. So let's get into the video. Okay, so I don't know if your week went well, if your week went bad. It doesn't matter. The week is over and we're getting ready to start a new one. But I just know for me, it's been a little up and down in my work week. I encountered some difficult patients. I had an ERT. I had a few difficult patients. I had an ERT, but the week is over. And the one thing that I always go back towards when I have a week is I absolutely love what I do. I have moments where I feel down, moments where I don't want to go in, moments where I just don't want to be bothered with patients. But at the root of it, I love helping people. And there's a motto that I've always shared with, I always remind myself when I'm caring for others, is that I remember when I was a patient, when I was sick. I was actually hospitalized 1 year for small bowel obstruction. Don't even know where it came from. But I remember how it felt to be sitting in the hospital. My family had to go to work, so no one could be at the bedside. It was my first time being hospitalized. I had no knowledge of the medical field, and I remember how that felt. I felt alone, even though I knew I had family, but in that moment, no one could go through that situation with me, and I felt alone, and the only person that was at the bedside was my nurse. The doctor came in once in a 24-hour period, but the nurse or the nurses were at my bedside 24 hours, and they were the ones that were caring for me. And the PCAs were the one that came to the door and said, "You need anything?" So I always remind myself when I have a difficult time just to remember that some people are feeling alone, some people are frustrated, their bodies are doing things they don't understand. And so as a nurse, I am that one person that can provide comfort, that can provide care. And so I have to be empathetic when I am frustrated, when patients, family members are hollering at me and wondering why I'm not calling them back. I have to be empathetic and patient no matter what. And at the root of it, I love what I do. There are going to be bad days that you encounter as new nurses or experienced nurses, but we have to get through it. Our patients need us. And also, I wanted to share because I was on TikTok the other day. And a nurse who basically had lupus had a patient basically who had a pneumothorax, and she was a COVID patient. She was there for COVID, but she had a pneumothorax, and they knew that basically going in the room that probably the patient wasn't going to make it, but they were trying their best to do everything that they could for this patient, despite what their knowledge and what their knowledge had told them about the outcome of the situation. They still went in there and tried to save this patient's life. Mind you, the nurse that was going into the patient room, she was already immunocompromised, so she was risking her life, or she risked her life every day in order to care for patients. But in this specific instance, she was reminded that I am risking my life to go in there, but I'm going to try my best to do it. And the person that they were going to kind of revive or try to bring back to life, or basically the person they were going to attend care, she acquired COVID from her sister. And so at the end of it, regretfully, the patient died, even despite all the preventative measures. But the sister came in basically, and the first thing she did was accuse the nurse who basically risked her life in order to go in there. I guess she was a bedside nurse. She said to her, she was like, "What did you do to my sister?" Like, going off on the lady. Mind you, the lady risked her life to go in there and to save the patient. And she just resumed to basically do what she thought she could do to revive her sister. Her sister had passed away. And then the nurse was just very frustrated. And one thing I realized that as being a nurse, we are often frustrated. Patients, family members come at us in a very negative way, despite what we are doing on a daily basis, despite caring for others. Sometimes we don't go to the bathroom when we should. We don't eat lunch sometimes. We skip lunch or we skip breakfast, things of that sort in order to care for others. But family members don't see the behind the scenes. They don't experience what we experience. And so we get pushed and we get get bottled down by a lot. But I just want to remind you all, and I'm reminding myself as I'm saying this because I had a very, rough week, that man, love what you do. If you love what you do, you can get through the bad times. And that even though sometimes you may go without being appreciated by your patient or your patient's family, at the root of it, you are doing something for someone else. You are basically providing care to someone else. And this is what we love. This is what we have been called to do. And we have to do it no matter if no one says thank you. Someone along the lines knows, and I believe that God knows that my reward is in heaven. So that's how I do it, even if we never get a thank you, this is what I've been called to do. I've been called to be at the bedside, and I don't do it for a thank you. I do it because I know that this is no other thing in the world provides me much joy. And I think I've already talked about this a lot in my previous videos, but I just want to remind us as nurses that we're working through a pandemic. We're working through a rough time in our world right now, but we have to love what we do, and we have to love our patients and be empathetic. And that's it. That's all I want to share. As I begin my work week tomorrow, I'm going in with a fresh view on my career, a fresh taste on, and I'm making it a promise to be the best nurse I can to my patients. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and I hope you have a good week.